unmet expectations, poor customer experience, or external pressures like competition and market shifts or elections. Right? The world is in a crazy place and people respond to it. If you don't have a way to prepare to help them anticipate the response, then you can't serve it that way. Now they just see everything as fear, doubt, concerns, and you need to be the one that's guiding that process. And we're going to share a couple of quick insights on that today so we can minimize the loss. At the end of the day, war of attrition is about stopping loss. Hey, the war is not won quickly. It requires persistent strategic efforts to reduce the attrition. You have to address root causes. You have to know what's causing it, strengthening the relationships, continuously providing value. You have to be constantly tapped into what's the source of the problem, what's causing it, and what is it costing you. Okay, companies must constantly evaluate why customers or employees leave, and then implement strategies to mitigate those losses to ensure that your long-term stability and growth are there. Right, this is good stuff. I've been writing this for a while. Right? I just want. I'm just thinking, how could I enhance this and say I'm trying to make the point as clear as that I can, guys. This is something that you have to be engaged in. You can't just be focused on where am I finding my next client. This is about bulletproofing your business so that you are able to thrive in a season of excellence, which is how you combat a season of winter. Okay, you have to be dialed in and on point so that your business is predictably generating revenue. And then you know exactly how you're going to generate revenue and keep clients and keep market share through crazy, challenging times. Okay. Attrition is gradual, but impactful drain on your business resources. And if left unchecked, it will kill the success of your business and everything you're trying to create. Okay. The problem is it's not something that we see visibly. It's something that we see after the effects of that, the fact that it has happened. So you have to be aware of it and be looking for it to catch it. Because it's not just going to be something you go, oh, by the way, we're losing attrition. By then, you've lost too much. So you have to stay on top of this as a business strategy. It starts with identifying the causes of your attrition. Okay, lots of things can cause attrition. Lack of follow-up, unmet expectations, right? Poor client onboarding, and neglecting client relationships. Just some of the simple, obvious ones. Okay, we had a client recently who there was a 25% conversion. So 25% of the people ironic, it was 25s across the board. 25% of the people who took advantage of the opportunity, 25% of the people who showed up for calls were converted. And within 30 days, 25% of the people who enrolled were gone out the back door. It was dumbfounding. But because there was not sufficient onboarding processes, the company was moving fast, growing fast, rocking and rolling, and things were great. But you start having, you have a lot of costs to that in many areas. Obviously, the obvious one is revenue. And all of the money, time, effort, and energy you spent on client acquisition costs to bring these people in the door, you lose because you no longer have the ability to keep them and offset that client acquisition cost. You paid to gain the client and then you lost them right away. So now your acquisition cost is actually even higher. And you have commission. You have salespeople who are losing the opportunity for those sales, for the ongoing sales, for the upsells, right? And it's demoralizing. It can make a sales team get very frustrated and feel like their efforts are not being rewarded. And it affects the morale, right? There are so many other side effects of the attrition that impact your business. So it's something that has got to be vital. You have to be constantly aware and looking at all the right numbers. And one of the ways that we do that we offer to you is we have a resource here that want you to type in the chat, audit. Okay, audit, and when you do, we'll respond to you. I want to give you this sales call audit resource. We have recently launched using all of our $500 million worth of sales results, our thousands of sales call audits that we have done as our secret weapon to support hundreds of sales teams. It is we have loaded that all of our frameworks and IP into AI so that we are now creating sales call audits at scale, and we have a digital sales call audit. We also have a done for you version of that so that if you just want to take this, and I want to invite you to take advantage of this resource. If you're doing sales calls to enroll people, you've got products at $1,000 or more, just people who are going to win the most with this, and you're going to take this sales call audit and apply it to your calls. You're going to manually review your calls using our framework, and you will see immediate results on your next sales call. This is something you have to work for. This is something you just need to apply what we're seeing here. And then we can talk to you later about what it will look like to have us evaluate that and analyze that with our AI and with all of our expertise and give you and really evaluate your entire sales process as a result of how we evaluate your sales calls. It's pretty mind blowing and hugely impactful. Talk about doubling your sales results. Okay. But you need to be doing it because this is going to help you unpack what are the things that are missing. And the report will show you how to do that so that you can start seeing what's missing before call, what's missing in the call for sure, and what things are likely missing after the call based on what's happening in the conversation. And it's an incredible skill set that you need to have. And I want to encourage you to make sure you're doing. So step number one, make sure you're recording your calls. But then step two is get an assessment done. And you need to be doing that no matter what. You have to be looking at the data. You can't just be guessing at what's happening. You need to know what's happening and know why it's happening. Even if the answers are good, all the things that are working well, you need to know why they're working well so that you can ensure they continue to produce those same results and work well and give you what you need. Otherwise, if you get a great result and you don't know why it happened, you can't replicate it. And then it's a hit or miss as to whether it continues to occur. Okay, so here is just a quick laundry list of some of the things that we see all the time. What happens? What causes attrition in your business? And I'm not going to go into them in detail. I'm going to list them here so you can see them. And I want you to think for yourself: do any of these apply to you? So just read them and say, is any of this applying to me? I don't want you to think, yeah, I'm doing good enough. If you're not mastering it, if it's not at mastery level, it's not being done. That's what being in a season of excellence is this learning how to do everything at the best possible outcome at a level of excellence. It doesn't mean it can't ever get better. It means that you have to be able to do the best you can with what you have now and what you know, knowing that you're planning for more. Okay. Lack of clear communication, right? Unmet client expectations. I'm going to break that down a little bit more in a minute. But inconsistent follow-up. Right. And this isn't just follow up with the people who need to buy. This is follow up with people who have bought, people who are in the buying journey. And you have to make sure that they are happy and satisfied and aware of what's going on. It's your job to narrate that and navigate that all the time. What's your onboarding experience? As one we just explained, right? We're losing that 25% conversion on the front end, 25% churn on the back end. And very quickly. And it was all because there was a disconnect inside of the next steps. And that's very common. Is that happening to you? Type it in the chat. Let me know if that's resonating with you. Okay. Lack of engagement, failure to deliver value over time. It doesn't mean you're not doing well. It just means you might not be giving everything you promised, or it just might not be being communicated. Maybe you have something, we've seen this, especially now with all of the email servers and stringent rules that are being applied. Sometimes we send emails that go into from our company, Gain the Edge, come to my inbox, Jim at Gain the Edge now, and I find them in the spam. I'll find them in the junk. I'll find them in the trash. This is my own domain, and it's penalized. It's not even delivering my own emails to me, right? So you are guaranteed to be being put into people's junk boxes or other prioritization folders. And that means it's your job to ensure that when an email goes out, it's up to you to ensure they're seeing it and getting it and responding and reacting to it. What are you doing to accompany that with video, with a phone call? When's the last time you pick up the phone to see how a client's doing? When's the last time you picked up the phone to see how somebody who is in the prospect journey is doing? Right? We're usually running the other way, trying to be way too automated. And that stuff will also increase attrition. Okay. Not understanding the client's needs, which means you got to constantly be in touch with them, and you got to have a thought about planning where they're going, so you can pre-plan the problems that they're having, what needs are going to occur, and what you plan to do about that. Okay, these are things that have to be done, and none of this is rocket science, guys. This is just taking the time to actually do it, put it into a system and a strategy, and execute, which is what we do and what we're trying to help you with here now. Okay. Ignoring client feedback. How many times have you gotten feedback and responses and things like, yeah, that's good. I'll get to that, because you can only do so much, right? But you have to you have to have a system and a process for ranking and prioritizing the problems that need adjusting, because they can't all be solved, but some will need to be solved more rapidly than others. And they can't just be first in, first out. It might need to be most important first out. Okay. So that's up to you. Lack of a personalized service. That doesn't mean one-on-one. It means, are you delivering a solution that meets the needs of your clients where they are compared to where another client might be? They can't all be the same experience. They have to have an experience that's going to dive into who they are. Okay. And then, of course, just weak relationship building. Good at delivering a product. There's a lot of companies that are really good at delivering a product, but not customizing it and not matching it to the needs of your buyers and where they are. Okay. Not having, lacking the customization. And believe it or not, those are everything I just shared was fairly generic. These ones are just a little bit deeper. And so broke them down a little bit more. But again, I'm just going to run through these so we keep moving. But lack of a future vision. And this isn't just about you and your company. Your vision needs to be shared to your team, your clients throughout. What are they seeing? How are they able to see their future vision as a result of what you're doing for them? Is this something you're constantly holding in front of them, showing them where this is going, managing what's happening, right? Is your onboarding too complex? You know, we talked about it not being available, not being in place, not being communicated well. Many times the opposite is in place. When we see people who actually do have an onboarding process, it's complicated. Too many steps, not clear what to do. It's not clear who's managing it or who's owning it. There are things in place that make it hard. And if it's hard for them, especially in the beginning, they're not likely to stick around. Right? Attrition. Hey, an inconsistent brand experience. Are you trying to be all things to all people, or is everybody really, really clear? Like when you're in our world, there's a lot of things we do to help you grow and scale your business. But at the end of the day, we exist to make sure you're making sales every day. We are here to make sure you're the person that people say yes to and that your business is designed to make money. Everything else we do is in service to that. Yes, it's about impact. Yes, it's about your mission and your vision and all the things that you want to do in the world and the way you want to change the world. But it starts with your business being effective. It starts with your business delivering revenue and profit and freedom so that you're not handcuffed to it, which prevents you from doing all the things you need to do in the world. Okay, so we understand that. What is it clear that no matter what happens, it's always in service to that? Are your people always very clear, crystal clear? What's the North Star in your world? Okay, failure to recognize success milestones. Are they doing things and achieving as they're on the way to the finished product? Are we only celebrating the finished product, or are we acknowledging the wins along the way? And do you have an experience that's designed for them? It doesn't have to be rah rah. It just needs to be helping people understand clearly that you know where they are and what they're doing and how to get there. All right. Making sure that stuff is in place. I did already mention, over automation, big challenge. We get tempted by that all the time because AI and automation and all the things we can do can make stuff easier. I don't have to touch that now. Yeah, but sometimes you need to touch that because that's what makes people win. Your hands need to be on it, or the team, the company's hands. There are things that are not meant to be automated, right? And so you have to make sure you are consistently evaluating the customer journey and experience in your world, right? Poor referral systems. We just did a whole training about that this morning about positioning, and so I'm not going to go dive deep into that. Please watch the stream that's in here wherever you're at. There was a stream this morning, and make sure you look at it because that is a banger training on exactly how to make sure you are positioned well so that people are sending business to you as a powerful resource and ally to them. So make sure you don't miss that training. Okay, go back and check it out, or drop in the chat that you want to see that, and we'll make sure you get it. Right. And then weak community engagement. Okay, they seem obvious, okay, but these things have to be done. They have to be addressed because all of these, every one of these, if they're off by 1%, 10%, you're losing. Right. You need to make sure that you are putting focus on them, because if you put focus on them, you'll work on solving them. That's the main thing we're trying to bring here. We're not trying to show you how to solve all of this. We're showing you that it needs to be on the radar. It needs to be in front of you. You want to win the war of attrition, you must be clear about who's in the battle and what's going on. All right? Because you have two choices. We have something coming right now that we're calling, again, we are leaning into the season of excellence so that you can navigate whatever storm is coming. And when you are diving into bulletproofing your systems and strategic processes, especially around attrition, doing the things that are necessary to bring people in correctly and keep them and serve them so they stay longer and want to sing your praises, then you have to make sure that you're putting in the time, effort, and energy to get yourself ready. And when you do this, you can sustain storms. You can keep people. You can serve them. They're not going to be out in the marketplace trying to find new solutions for what you do, because you're the one who's helping them and guiding them through their challenging season. Because what happens is if you don't have all this stuff dialed in, the storms that are coming, they're going to create a tidal wave, right? And you have two choices. You can either let it wipe you out because you're not prepared, or you can ride it to higher ground. You want the skill sets, you want the tools and the resources to let you ride it to higher ground so that you are in control. You are the one who gets to dictate how your business survives. When you ride it to higher ground, when the storm's done, there's going to be a lot of people who need help, and you're going to be in perfect position to help them all. And you're going to be helping people along the way because you're dialing this in, because these and the many other systems and strategies that we're bringing to you are purely designed for that. That is why we're here. That is why you're here. We have, Cindy and I have doubled down, tripled down. We're doing as many trainings, tools, strategies, support that we can provide for you, because we want to make sure you're thinking of everything. And we have thought of everything, and we're always working on it, and we're bringing it to you so that you are constantly in the know and have access and availability to the tools, the resources, and the support that will help you get there. Okay. So what I want to do right now is take a 1 minute. Take 1 minute. We just hit a bunch of stuff, a whole bunch of things that are very real about the war of attrition. None of this is glamorous. And I wish I could say, I invented all of this, but I didn't. Right? This is the reality of surviving in business. And more importantly, this is the stuff that used to give you an edge. This is the stuff that used to help you stand out above others. Now, this is stuff that's necessary and vital for you to win. It's no longer optional or nice to have. It's must-haves. You have to be clear about preventing attrition. And I want you to write down for just take 1 minute. I'm gonna give you 60 seconds. If I had more time, I'd give it to you. Or you can pause it and take all the time you need if you're on the recording. Write down which areas you know you need to bulletproof. Where do you need to improve the process so that people aren't leaving? Where are you weakest? Where's your weakest link in your client fulfillment, in your service process? From the moment the sales process begins when somebody says hello. In my world, the sales conversation. So when they click on your opt-in, for some of you, this might be hello. This might be the first time you've ever heard from me, seen us, or heard from me. So the sales conversation begins at hello. So right now, everything that happens from this point until there comes a time when you're ready to hire us or jump on board for some services that we do or anything that we bring your way. And then what happens after that? Once you do buy, how do you continue to grow through our world? How do you continue to be served and win in our world? It's our job to map that out constantly, to ensure it. Once we map it out, that's a plan. When it's being delivered and fulfilled on, is the plan working? And how do we know? Right? We have training coming on about that as well. The 3 keys to make sure that you know exactly how to test everything that's working in your sales process, why it's working, how it's working, and what to do about it if it isn't. Okay, that's another training that's coming. But I want you to think about that right now. Just write down the key pieces. Where's the areas where you already know without any research? It's just on your mind or in your gut. You've been like, I got to do this part better. Or people keep leaving at this area. At this point in the process, I keep dropping people, or I can't get people across this hump. All of those are leaks. Those are leaks, and leaks lead to attrition. And anything that happens on the front end is going to impact the back end. And everything that's happening on the back end is going to impact how you sell on the front end, right? How you serve, how you grow, how your people share your word. Are they your raving fans because you've thought of all the small things and you make sure that they win, right? All of this matters. So write down those and type me, now that you've written some of those down, type it in the chat. Give me your top 1. Give me your top 2. What are the things that identify a couple of keys? And then I really want you to figure out what's one thing you're going to do. What's one thing you know you can fix? You might have 10 things that you know need to be done better. And I guarantee you, if we look at your process, it's probably a lot more than 10. But I want you to pick one that you're going to commit to addressing immediately. That will be the next thing you do to bulletproof your process. Okay. And drop it in the chat. Let me know. All right, let's keep moving. So some strategies to reduce, okay, now that you first had to be aware and buy into the fact that the war of attrition is happening. It is real, it is subtle, and it is in your business and is in your face. No matter how big or how long you've been in business, that war of attrition is always on. It is never off. So it's just a matter of taking it to new levels, not a matter of do I have it or do I not. Okay, then it's identifying the areas that are costing you the losses. And then now we got to talk about reducing. Okay, what are you going to do to reduce attrition in the sales process? Okay, number 1, a couple of key components here are consistent communication. Value reinforcement. You have to consistently reinforce the value of what you're doing, because if you're doing anything worthwhile for your clients, for your customers, for your community, then it's probably going to involve them having to go through a struggle of some kind in order to come out the other side as a winner. And struggle is hard. Struggle can suck. Struggle can be painful. And when they get into that struggle, they're going to realize, why did I hire you in the first place? Why did I buy this stupid thing? I don't want this. I don't want to have to do that work. I don't want to have to take this extra time. And your job is to make sure that you're there to consistently reinforce the value of the decision that they made and the future that they're stepping into, or the pain that they're leaving, and hopefully forever. Right. And this is a big one that I wanted to hit: expectation management. Expectation management is something we've had to learn the hard way, because when people come to Cindy and I and bring us on, bring our sales team on and stuff, as we spent a decade doing the done for you sales, we had this crazy environment. The moment we came on, they were like, hey, we're winning now. Magic wand, gain the edges here. We're going to win. And we always had to let them know, it's like, look, man, we're not going to be able to take sales calls right away. B, we're always going to be better 6 months from now than we are in day one. And we'll be better 6 months after that. And we don't really have any measurable data until we've done 100 sales calls, which might take 30 days, depending on the volume and the flow of what's going on. And then we have to test, tweak, optimize, and improve. Right. And so there's a lot of movement and structure that needs to happen. And so we had to let them know consistently, we are going to give you a result, and we'll work on giving you a better result, but we can't promise the moon right out the gate. Right. You have to manage expectation. When you manage expectation and keep things real, people get it and they resonate. They may not always like it, but they at least know that you know what was coming because you already set the stage. You managed their expectation. Don't just tell them the whole world's going to be different now. You got to let them know the pains, the struggles, the peaks and the valleys. Okay. And then providing ongoing support as part of the sales process, not just after they buy. When somebody, if like any of this, if you are seeing these things, you have questions about the tools, the strategies, the questions, the things we're putting in place, we're here to support you in that. We want to make sure you get the right resources, that you get access to the right trainings, and that you have opportunities to be able to engage us at a deeper level so you can get better results, faster results, and real outcomes. Okay, so that's what you want to be thinking about consistently in your world. So I'll give you a quick visual. This is, we talk about lifetime journeys all the time. That's one of our key differentiators. We don't just focus on selling a product. We focus on moving you towards a powerful outcome. So we are always talking about the problems you're experiencing, such as attrition, right? And we design a lifetime journey. So in our world, you start here, and most people you're handcuffed to a business, because nobody I know got in business and designed it to make revenue or to deliver freedom. We designed it to fulfill a product. And so we build this thing to deliver a product, but now we have to earn money, we have to manage money, we have to do things, grow teams and do stuff. And the business keeps us trapped, especially in the sales process. And so we focus on you moving through the stages in our world that get you to freedom. Mountaintop Experience in our world is a business that is sellable. Doesn't mean you have to sell it. It means it's ready. It means it's profitable. It's systematized. It's structured. It's efficient. It delivers revenue. It delivers profit. It frees you, gives you the freedom to be able to pursue the things that you want to do, because I don't know anybody who got in business to be in business. You got in business as a means to an outcome, to a result. And we want to make sure that that result is being achieved so that you can experience the freedom and not be handcuffed to your business. We design that. So if this is your first day in our world, you know right from the beginning, this is our journey. It doesn't mean you have to take the ride the whole way. It means this is the frame, the context, and the lens of the conversation. In order for you to have that, there are things that have to change in your business, in your strategies, in your process, in your structures, in you. You have to become the kind of person who can succeed at that level, serve at that level, be able to operate, show up, and be positioned powerfully and magically in front of people as the ideal solution for the thing, for the problem that they have. Right? All of this is part of the journey that we lead people on. Do you think it's going to happen overnight? Do you think it's going to happen in one 30-minute edge sales power play? Oh, of course not. Right? Over the time, over 12 months, over 36 months, over time, you have to be willing to make that commitment, because we're willing to commit to guiding and supporting you there if you're willing to commit to getting there. And then you can decide, maybe you unplug, maybe you parachute out after you're up part of the way. You've got the levels of success that you want. It's all good. But the important part about this is understanding that we are pre-planning and pre-designing and sharing with our clients all the time. You as well. You're in our world. You're here. You're trusting us for this. We're giving you the truth, the raw truth, the real results. This is what happens. So it keeps you in our world longer if that's what you're looking for. And you understand that there will be pitfalls. There will be journeys. Our mission is to make sure that you're not off on what we call red line behaviors, red line activities, chasing shiny objects and doing all the stupid stuff that keeps you away from the mountaintop experience, right? That's our journey. But now we're all having a collective conversation. So we're all on the same page. And this stuff helps eliminate attrition, not just after you buy, but as you're in the buying process. You're deciding if you want to buy, and this stuff helps you go, wow, I'm not going to miss another one. I got to be on these next edge power plays. I got to show up for their trainings because these guys know what they're doing and they can get me where I want to go. If that's not where you want to go, take whatever you can from this and enjoy it, because I don't know what else to help you with. Okay. But you have to be clear about that for people. That is powerful and important. You need a process that explains that and that lays it out for people so that they always know what to expect in your world versus selling a product. Okay. So getting behind, I want to get on this. We're going to be wrapping this up in a couple of minutes, right? What are you going to do to reduce attrition that boosts sales? Okay. This is I call it a compound effect. Compound effect. It's a double benefit, right? When you focus on reducing attrition, it keeps clients and it also enhances your reputation. People see what you're doing to serve. They see you're willing to go the extra mile. You see all this stuff, all of this stuff, this everything we're teaching, this is stuff that we teach. This is stuff that we apply to clients that are paying us 6 figures and more, right? And we're giving you the best of what we got. I don't hold anything back. I share with you the tools and the resources, knowing that you'll be able to do okay with it and do the best you can with what you have here. And that if you really want to get this applied in your business, you're going to reach out and figure out how we can work with you, because we can apply this to you and accelerate your outcomes, right? But we're not holding anything back. We're showing you the best of what we got. Okay. And that's what you need to be thinking about. Okay. How do you leverage this in a way that this enhances the front end and secures the back end? Because you're showing up as powerful, integrity, honest, and in it for them. I'm hoping to demonstrate here that we are in this for you, right? With what we're sharing. We're not just giving you the 3 key tips and then bouncing. We're trying to show you how this works and talk you through it. Okay. Living proof for one of our clients, saying we came in, they were doing Facebook ads to lead into an event. And we started working on all of the back end process. And now all of a sudden we have people that we're nurturing and growing and working with. Our sales team is working with them over the course of time, 18 months. All of a sudden we have people who are coming to multiple events. We have people who showed up, signed up for one event, never showed up, came to another event, because there were processes on the back end that were eliminating attrition, that were keeping people engaged and moving people to show up. And then when these people were showing up, we had events, we had conversion rates at these events from salespeople that were 50. We had one, the last event we did with them, we had 53%, 73%, 60%, and 78%. All from 4 salespeople, all above 50%, and all a direct, I want to say consequence, a direct byproduct result of making sure, seeing to it that we were eliminating the attrition on the front end. Just because they didn't buy on the front end doesn't mean you ignore them until they buy, right? You have to make sure that all of that is in place. You eliminate attrition wherever you find it, not just on the back end. All right. So I want you to identify 3 customers that have let go that you could have kept. 3 customers that you've let go that you could have kept. Because I guarantee you there's at least 3. There has to be. There's people that you wish you liked them. It was good. You just didn't have the bandwidth or the systems or the structure or the support or the awareness that they needed that next thing. And they left, and you now look back and go, man, I would have loved to have kept that person. Well, the good news is they're still here unless they're dead. Okay. But I want you to think about that right now, because then I want you to think, well, what is that worth to you in revenue? What's it worth to you in impact? What would it be worth to you to keep those people and keep them continue paying? And what is it worth to you for them to be raving fans? Because typically the people who stay with you longest also become raving fans. And if you build it into the process and it's designed that way, then they also become part of your sales force. They become part of your branding because they are out singing your praises and bringing people to you because they want other people to have the amazing experience that you have been providing for them. Right? But you have to be aware of it. I want you to be present. Think through that because maybe there's one that comes to mind. What's the cost? What was the dollar and cents cost of losing them? Whether it's from monthly time, from upgrades, from more solutions, from greater impact you could have provided had you only had the chance to really connect them to staying longer and why it mattered if you've been articulating it from the beginning. Because I want you to be present to that so you can recognize what it's worth and what it costs you every time a client walks out the door or every time a potential client walks out the door because you had too much attrition, leaks, and openings in the front of the sales process, not just in the back. Okay. Really important. Hang on to that because you need to be seeing that number. All right. This is the gig. I could go on this all day. We could do a full-on 3-day event about this, and we have because we just see this stuff, just like you're the expert of what you do. We have so much nuanced understanding of everything that happens in a sales environment from the moment somebody says hello until the day they leave your world for good. There's an awful lot of things that happen, and we've seen it, all of it, and we're always dialing that in to support you there. So we talked about identifying the causes of attrition, implementing the strategies to reduce it, and leveraging this to reduce and boost sales. Excuse me. I'm trying to read this instead of talk. Leveraging reducing attrition as a strategy to boost sales. You're not just saving sales from going out the door. You are literally enhancing and growing sales as a result of keeping attrition down or eliminating it altogether. Okay. So if you are at a place where you're ready to win the war of attrition, right? Turn it into a sales advantage, then I want you to type retention in the chat and we'll reach out to you. We'll engage you. And I don't know what that means because I don't know your business. I don't know where you're at. I don't know if there's something we can directly do to support you, but I know we got tools and resources that will help you have an advantage and win and get a better outcome. And for those of you that qualify and ready and can work with us, having us, our team, our brain, our resources, our experience, our tools, our access on your business is a game changer and something that you absolutely will want to take advantage of. But we don't know where you're at. First, we have to see where you're at, what level you're at, what's there for us to be able to do together, and we can explore it. But at the minimum, we have plenty of tools and resources, other trainings that we can provide you and make sure that you're getting what you need to keep moving and winning the war of attrition. I thank you for your time. Thanks for trusting us to be part of your success team. And I want to see the action. Stay involved, stay engaged here because we have a lot more to come. Plug in, make sure you're in the Facebook group because that's where all this activity is going to be and it's starting to pick up. We're starting to pick up a lot more. We're bringing in, new Facebook team and things happening, guys. You're going to see a lot more activity inside there because one reason we want to support you. We want to be the undisputed champ as it pertains to you growing a business that's designed to generate revenue every day and becoming the person that people say yes to. That's what we're here for, so you can win. Go make magic happen. Remember that what you do matters and you deserve to be paid well for it. We'll see you on the next one.